there, Pengrove Panthers. I have today Secret Explorers and the Lost Whales. And I'm going to read chapter 1 today for you guys. This is a story with teamwork and science and all sorts of interesting adventures. And Mrs. M has a bunch of them in the library with all different sorts of topics. And I can bring them into your classes also. Chapter 1, Pond Dipping. Connor dipped his net into the pond and scooped up a big clump of algae. Long green strands of the tiny plants trailed down. It looked like Connor had caught a watery monster. I guess I have, he thought. After all, too much algae would block out the light, and the other plants in the pond would die. Connor had spent the morning clearing up the water. The pond was at the end of his backyard, on the other side of the white picket fence. The leaves of the pecan trees gleamed in the warm Missouri sunshine. Connor dropped the algae onto the bank. He was about to scoop out another clump when he noticed something wriggling inside the net. A tadpole. "Hey there," said Connor. "Are you going to grow into a bullfrog, or maybe a leopard frog?" Gently he lowered the net so the tadpole could escape. He watched it swim away, kicking its tiny back legs. It joined a large group of tadpoles beside some reeds. So there's Connor cleaning the pond, and the tadpole in his net. Hold on, Connor thought. They're hanging out in a shoal. Those probably aren't frog tadpoles. I think they're toads. Connor loved everything about the water. His mom thought he would be a marine biologist when he grew up and study the plants and animals in the sea. "We'll have to take a vacation to the coast one day," Mom had said at breakfast. "Wouldn't it be amazing to see the ocean?" Connor touched the compass badge on his chest. His mom didn't know that Connor had seen lots of oceans already. When he'd scooped out the last gloopy bob of algae, Connor propped his net against the wooden fence. It was hot now. The sunshine shimmered on the wheat fields that surrounded his house. Connor made his way indoors. He washed his hands at the kitchen sink, then went to the pantry to get himself a granola bar. There was a postcard tacked to the pantry door. It said, "I love Missouri Science Fair." Connor had won first prize in the competition for growing coral in a tank. As he reached for the door handle, he stopped in surprise. A glowing shape had appeared next to the postcard. It was a circle with a needle in the center. Around the outside were the letters N, S, E, and W. A compass. A compass that matched the badge on Connor's t-shirt. Compass grinned. The Secret Explorers have a new mission, he thought. Excitement tingled through him as he stepped through the door. The shelves of food were gone, and instead there was a dazzling white light. Connor's heart thudded. Wind whipped against his face as if he were traveling really fast. A moment later, the light faded. Connor was standing in a large, familiar room. Light from the rows of computer screens flickered on the black stone walls. Objects stood on display in glass cabinets, just like in a museum. There were dinosaur fossils, meteorites from space, and shells from the bottom of the ocean. On the floor was a huge map of the world. The domed ceiling showed the stars and the Milky Way. Connor was back in the exploration station. "Connor, here," he said. Near the computers was a cluster of comfy chairs. A girl with short dark hair jumped up from one of them. A compass badge just like Connor's was pinned to her soccer jersey. "Hey, Tomiko," said Connor. He noticed her cool Stegosaurus necklace. Tomiko's specialty subject was dinosaurs. "Hi," Tomiko said. "Look, here come the others." The rest of the Secret Explorers began to hurry through the glowing doorway. A tall, grinning girl gave a salute, just like she always did. "Leia, here," she called. Leia knew everything about plants and animals. Next came Kiki, who loved machines and technology. She wore glasses and pajamas, and her hair was still ruffled from sleep. "Kiki, here." "Ollie, here," said a red-haired boy in a rainforest t-shirt. The rest of the team called out their names. There was Roshni, who wanted to be an astronaut, Gustavo, who loved history, and Chang, who knew everything about rocks and volcanoes. A whole group of secret explorers. The roll call was complete. Connor was buzzing with excitement. Now they would be given their mission. Everyone took their usual place around the map on the floor. Sure enough, A circle of light glimmered on part of the map. Connor recognized where it was right away. The South Pacific Ocean to the east of Australia. The circle got bigger. It became the size of a TV screen. It showed a pod of whales diving through the water. They had long fins and white bellies. Humpback whales, said Connor. But who would the exploration station choose for this adventure? It always picked the 2 members with the right skills and knowledge for the mission. Connor looked down to see his compass badge glowing with light. I'm in, he cried. He was the club's marine expert, so that made sense. But who would be his teammate? Roshni's badge shimmered, lighting up her face. Connor and Roshni have been chosen for the mission. Cool, Roshni said, but my specialty is space. I wonder what that's got to do with humpback whales. I guess we'll find out, said Connor. He gave her a high five. The exploration station is never wrong. Kiki pressed a button on one of the computers. A vehicle with 2 seats rose up from the floor. The Beagle, ready to go, Kiki said. The Beagle was named after a ship sailed by the famous scientist Charles Darwin. It looked like an old go-kart with chipped paint and a crooked steering wheel. But it's so much more than a go-kart, Connor thought. The other secret explorers took their places at the computers, ready to give Connor and Roshni any help they needed during their mission. Good luck, called Chang. Can't wait to hear all about it, added Tomiko. Call us if you need anything, said Kiki. Connor and Roshni waved goodbye to their friends and clambered into the Beagle. Connor gripped the steering wheel. Ready, he asked. Roshni nodded. Ready. He leaned forward and pressed a button on the dashboard that said start. The Beagle began to shake. The nuts and bolts shuddered as if they would pop out at any moment. There was a bright flash. The Beagle jerked forward and Connor and Roshni were flung back against their seats. Suddenly, they were zooming through a tunnel of light. Beneath them, the Beagle began to transform. The wheels slid away. A joystick replaced the steering wheel. Glass rose around them. Maybe it's turning into a boat this time, Connor cried, his voice trembling under the force. There was a huge splash. Connor gazed out in wonder through a curved window. Blue water stretched as far as he could see. Overhead flew a white tropic bird with long tail feathers. It's the Pacific Ocean, he said. Roshni pointed at a periscope sticking up through the glass ceiling of the cockpit. We're not in a boat, she said with a grin. We're in a submarine. The Beagle has turned into a submarine. All right, you guys, that's the end of chapter 1. So next week I will read you guys chapter 2 from Secret Explorers and the Lost Whales. All right, see you soon.